The way our media product used codes and conventions of real-life media products is when we created our film, we wanted to use a connotation linked in with horror comedy spoofs. So when creating the titles, we used this black sort of slanted effect which took out part of the screen and made it black, and then on top of that we used red coloured writing which showed blood, which we used by putting it to the side of the frame, so we kept all the important parts of the scene, like at the beginning when we showed the missing people's tree, we put it above that so it suggested that something bad was going to happen. When deconstructing horror comedy spoofs, we noticed they all used symbolic codes which allowed the audience to feel scared and empathy for the character. So when the actor Ruby turned around and saw all the dead bodies laying around, we got her to use a scared, shocked, surprised facial expression. We got this idea from the film Zombieland, when the man was getting chased by a zombie and looked back at it with a facial expression which increased tension at that point. When analysing horror comedy spoofs, we noticed that they all used immature humour, like in Zombieland when the strong-grown man goes through this sort of sweet truck. We'd expect him to be looking for zombies, like just in case it would jump out, but he was actually looking for Twinkies and he got really angry. So we used this code by making the screen fall over as he goes to stab Ruby, and also when he gets the knife caught in the tree and we show Ruby skipping off down the path like nothing had happened. The way we challenged codes and conventions was when we deconstructed the films, we noticed that all the actors in the films had the props laid out, like in Shaun of the Dead, when all the gardening tools were laid out and they needed to get rid of the zombies. We challenged this convention by having the actors already have the props in hand, like Ruby having the mobile phone and the Scream having the knife. Also, when analysing the films, in Shaun of the Dead we noticed there was an enigma code, like when the main character was coming down the stairs, he was moaning, making zombie noises, and he was also walking sort of like... We created our own enigma code by placing props on a tree at the beginning of the woods, which were missing people's posters, which we put really boldly missing in red, which is also another connotation, and placed selfies underneath, which was quite humorous, and it made it funny because you see Ruby skipping off past it, completely oblivious to what they said. Also, within all of the films that we deconstructed, we noticed there was lots of obvious editing which helped create immature humour. An example of this is the enhancement of punching and stabbing of zombies in Zombieland. We also used obvious editing in our product by using sound effects, like when the Scream got his knife stuck in the tree, we used this sort of struggling sound of someone with a saw getting out the wood, which kind of linked in with a knife, which was quite funny because we saw Ruby skipping off into the distance like nothing had happened, and we see the Scream looking back as he's struggling to get the knife out of the tree.